He didn't whisper it, he said it flat. The kind of line that stops a room and flips the story in your head. That was my girlfriend. I exploited her. I didn't end her. The second it hit the timeline, the temperature changed. Fans froze, critics pounced, and everyone else started pulling threads, trying to see if the image of a soft-spoken hitmaker could survive a case this heavy. Because somewhere between what he said and what we actually know sits a gap the size of the internet. Loud, messy, and impossible to ignore. And that's exactly where this story begins. The first thing that ripped through the rumor mill wasn't a lyric or a live, it was a smell. Monday in Hollywood, an impound lot. A report of a foul odor coming from an electric sedan that hadn't moved in days. Officers rolled up to a tow yard off Mansfield, popped the compartment in the front, the frunk, and everything changed. Paperwork linked the vehicle to a 20-year-old artist with a stage name that sounds like the word David pushed through a glitch. Headlines came fast, but the facts were simple. A body, a car registered to a charting singer, and a timeline no one could look away from. Here's the part that made people swear the internet was gaslighting them. While detectives started tracing VINs and toe slips in Los Angeles, the same name was lit up on a venue board in Minneapolis. Fans posted clips, ticket pages stayed live, and for a minute the world split in two. One thread arguing, the show proves he couldn't be anywhere near that car. Another asking how a scene that grim and a performance that polished could share the same date. Within days, those calendar squares started vanishing. Listings grayed out. City after city went quiet. And the conversation shifted from could he to what now? The brands didn't wait for think pieces, a collaboration that had just dropped across feeds. Sun-bright colors, smiley clogs, California casual drip evaporated almost overnight. Crocs. Hollister. The campaign pages blinked, swapped, cleaned. If you blinked twice, you'd think he'd never been there at all. For some, it looked like corporate self-preservation. For others, it felt like a verdict without a courtroom. Either way, a message was clear. Reputational risk moves faster than any investigation. 9 days after the discovery, the story finally had a name. The L.A. County Medical Examiner identified the victim as Celeste Rivas Hernandez, 15 years old. A missing poster became a case file. A case file became a funeral date. And still, the report didn't give the internet what it wanted most. Cause and manner of death? Deferred. No neat category to sort this into. No single word, accident, homicide, anything, to carry like a flag into the comments. The only thing certain was uncertainty, and grief that did not need the internet to be real. Silence is a vacuum. It fills with theories, screenshots, side-by-sides, tattoos held up like puzzle pieces, 2 right index fingers to shh, designs, and 1,000 people asking if ink means intimacy. There were whispers about old lives and private messages, about timelines that overlap with breakout singles, about meaning hidden in lyrics. Authorities didn't confirm a relationship. They didn't deny it either. They said what investigators always say, we're working the case. The truth moves slower than the scroll, and until it lands, speculation pretends to be evidence. Meanwhile, the grid doesn't care about feelings, it cares about data. Cars like his are rolling hard drives. Every route mapped, every stop time-stamped. Neighborhoods like the Bird Streets don't blink, they record. Doorbells watch in 4K, gates keep logs, tow companies keep clocks, and somewhere in all of that, a chain of custody starts to take shape. It's not cinematic, but it is relentless. And even here, with all that signal, the official line held, no cause, no manner, no charges announced. Grief had a name. The rest still didn't. What makes people spiral in a story like this isn't only the horror, it's the contrast. A kid who taught himself to record in a closet, who climbed out of algorithmic obscurity on the back of a voice that sounded like cracked glass in midnight, suddenly trapped inside a narrative that feels like a true crime pilot. Fans replay the old songs and swear they hear warnings now. They freeze on a line and ask if art was confession all along, but music is a mirror. It reflects whoever's looking. Bend too close and even your own face starts to look like a clue. Some things are fair to say out loud. A girl is gone, a family is grieving, a city is holding a file open because there is not yet enough to close it. A singer is no longer on the road, and two big brands did what big brands do when the air turns toxic: cut exposure and walk. Everything else is still a question. But the questions don't make the story smaller, they make it heavier. If the car sat on a hill for days, who left it there? If cameras watch everything on those streets, what do they show? If the vehicle logs every mile, where does the breadcrumb trail end? And if the official report couldn't name a manner of death yet, what does that actually mean for the law, for the family, for him? Sometimes the scariest part isn't a twist. It's the wait for something official enough to stand on. People want a villain they can point to. They want a smoking gun and a headline that answers for the pain. But reality is slower. It's lab tests and warrants and legal language that doubles back on itself. It's more careful than the internet wants it to be, and less satisfying than fiction ever is. That doesn't mean the truth won't land. It means when it does, it won't care how many theories you posted between now and then. So here's where the story sits, today. A tour erased from marquees, a collaboration scrubbed from the grid, a file at the medical examiner's office with a name and a date, but not yet a cause to carry. An LAPD investigation that keeps widening its circle, from a tow yard to a hillside to a stack of servers that remember more than anyone wants them to. And a family whose loss doesn't need the internet to be real. If you came here for easy answers, there aren't any. Not yet. What there is a lesson we hate relearning. A viral narrative doesn't equal a finished story. The internet can crown and cancel in the same week. Brands can move faster than facts, and music can sound like a confession, even when it's just a kid trying to make sense of his head. The truth will come, and when it does, it won't check with your feed first. Until then, remember the only thing worth repeating in a case like this: let the evidence talk. But that wasn't the whole story. If investigators pull a clean data trail from the car in the neighborhood, and they usually do, this won't stay foggy forever. When that happens, we'll all have to face the same uncomfortable test. Can we handle the truth if it doesn't match the story we already told ourselves?